Hi, I'm Karla Schafer, designer for Auntie's Beads, and I'll be demonstrating how to make stack bracelets using elasticity. The tools and supplies needed for this project are as follows. I'm going to be using a nipper tool. We're going to be using the elasticity in a 0.8 millimeter. I'm also going to be using Zap-A-Gap or GS Hypo Cement for gluing the knots. You will also need a ruler and some bead stoppers. I'm also going to be using an assortment of beads, and I'm going to be using some acrylic flowers and some glass pearls in an 8 and a 6 millimeter, and I'm also using one 6 millimeter spacer bead. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of the elasticity. I want you to cut it about 12 inches long so we'll have plenty to knot. So I've got it cut. And then we're going to add a bead stopper to one end, and this is going to keep the beads from sliding off the elasticity. And then, first thing we're going to do is string on the large hold spacer bead. This is, I'm using this because on these pearls, the hole in the bead's not big enough to hide my knot, so my knot will slide into the spacer bead. So I'm going to slide it on first, and then we're just going to string our beads. Now, for lengthen an elastic bracelet is not as much as it is when you use a bracelet with a toggle and that sort of thing. So you kind of have to gauge the length of it and test it around your wrist and what have you. But all we're going to do, and this one doesn't really have a pattern, I'm just picking up my beads at random. And this is a 6 millimeter glass pearl. And there are several colors to choose from. This is just the multi-strand. And we're going to string these beads on, and then I'm going to show you how to knot the bracelet so that the knot does not slip out. Okay, now I've got all my beads strung, and you can kind of put it around your wrist and see where you're going to be. And if you'd like, I'll tell you how many inches this is in beads. See, it's about 7 1/4 inches in beads for a 7 1/2 inch bracelet. Now, what we're going to do now is take the bead stop off this one end, and this is the part that's kind of tricky when working with elasticity, is making this knot keep from slipping out. So the first thing we're going to do is go an overhand knot like you do when you tie your shoe. You're going to bring it together, and then you're going to do that again, but this time you're going to bring it around twice. You bring that in twice and then pull it. You don't want it to be too tight for the elastic to snap, but you want it to be nice and firm. And then I like to go ahead and do it one more time. And then we're going to double it again. Now, you're also going to glue this knot. Put a little glue on it. Like I said, you can use Hypo Cement, bead stringing glue, or the Zap-A-Gap. My suggestion is not to stretch the bracelet until this knot is dry. As you can see, there we go. And I'm sticking to my stuff. So now I'm going to drop a little glue on the knot, and then just slide it inside that bead and let that dry. And then you can snip off these strings as soon as this is dry. So we're going to set this aside, and I'll show you the pattern on the other two bracelets. Okay, I have strung the two flowers, or bellflowers. This is the trumpet flower, and I would like to give you a little tip. When you're using a bead like this, or a bead that has a large hole on it, if you string it on first, then your knot is going to go inside this little flower here, and you won't need to put a spacer bead or anything there to hide the knot. So I've got another pattern strung here, and we're just going to knot it as we have before. And again, we're going to do just an overhand knot, and then we're going to do it twice through here, like that. Pull it tight, and then we're going to do it again one more time. And then glue this knot, because sometimes it will tend to start slipping. And see how that knot will hide inside the flower. And this was the other pattern that I also did. And again, if you string on that bellflower first, and then the knot will hide inside. So now once these are dry, you can snip your little threads and you can stack them and wear all three of the bracelets at the same time.